Hey there gamers, I'm your host YakMan, and this is part 2 to the Solo Island content series. This one covers Solo Dino Island. If you haven't seen the Solo Bear Island video, please go watch that right now and then come back to this video. This one will be building on everything we covered in the Solo Bear Island video. You need that information. Before we get into the good stuff, I want to make sure and give a huge shout out to the server owner Prime for always bringing awesome content and getting these islands made for us, and also to our good friend that you all have seen around the server, Smoke, for volunteering to be the guinea pig in this brutal gauntlet. I'll show you a brief clip from the first run. It wasn't pretty, we had to adjust it to make it so that even an experienced pro like him could make it through. Or as his friends would say, he needs to get good. Just kidding, Smoke, you're a legend. You absolutely dominated this, and I'm going to be commenting on Smoke's gameplay to point out all the things he did right, and just, you're going to want to play like this if you want to regularly hit this island. It'll make your life a lot easier to play smart. So at about this point, we paused so that Prime could adjust the amount of dinos that spawn. So the majority of the triggers up to the last couple only spawn 4 dinos each, so it's more manageable as a player. This is meant to be run with a Ghost, a Class 4 Iron Strike, any of your entry mid-tier weapons. Also, quick explanation on this first trigger, it's always going to pop right away. I, however, in buzzing around getting things set up for Smoke to run this, accidentally triggered the first trigger prematurely. They were a big headache. I had to drag them all to the back of the arena, and that is why they come from so far on the other end of the map. Do not expect it to be like that. They will be in your face right away off the rip. As you can see on the first trigger, you will have 4 of these little green base turds, as we like to call them on the server. These things are horrendous. Not only are they almost guaranteed to cut every single hit, it seems like, they knock you out a ton, just like the pandas do, but worse yet, they have the smallest hitbox of anything on the entire server. You have to aim for a little box that's kind of almost invisibly hanging between their knees or somewhere in their chest. Both are very small hitboxes, and that's what makes these things absolute nightmare fuel. In this run, you're going to see Smoke use the Dragon's Teeth a ton to his advantage, constantly moving around, snagging the dinos up. That is a great strategy. The other great strategy he's implementing is with the top of the crates. Now, the dinos can still popcorn on top of these. However, this is great for pulling off heals if you need a better chance than sitting in the Dragon's Teeth. And occasionally, when one does popcorn up there, that is one less mob that is chasing you around the actual island, and it gives you a chance to fight some of the other ones if they kick you off. There are 9 triggers in total. I believe the first 7 are 4 dinos each, and the last 2 have more than they should have 5, I believe. There at this time is not a boss dino mech at the end, but we are discussing it, and that might change after the date of this video's release, so be prepared. A pro tip that I didn't cover about meds in the Bear Island Part 1 video to this series is carrying EpiPens. Carrying EpiPens is great for when you've woke from a knockout. It helps you recover shock value much quicker for a short time period so that you hopefully aren't getting knocked out repeatedly, although that can still happen. It's not a foolproof method, but it can definitely help at times. Another big thing to be aware of is a few updates ago, DayZ made it so that mobs or a lot of the zombies and bears and such have an actual like physical hitbox when they're laying elimbed on the ground, and they can actually trap you inside of the Dragon's Teeth. You've got to be aware of that, and if something falls in front of you, try your best to get out from that exact portion of the Dragon's Teeth. Try to move to the other side or another end, or maybe a different set altogether so that you don't get stuck. A lot of times they'll pin you in, and then you're just a sitting target, and you're gonna get knocked out for sure and bleed a lot. If you can try to avoid that, it will be in your best interest. while these solo islands are meant to be run in 2.5k kill reward gear and with the basic Ghost and Class 4 Iron Strikes, it's definitely to your advantage to also make sure you try to pick up invisible or armored face pieces, armored glasses, armored bandana. You're going to want as much protection on your head as you can. That will also help minimize knockout a little bit. Again, nothing is guaranteed in this, but the more protection you have, obviously, the better. Another clutch tip is you are allowed to have 2 cases on your inventory, like on your outfit. You can put them on chem light slots, and you are also allowed to carry 1 extra empty backpack without extra cases or jackets attached to it. There is nesting rules, so please make sure you see the Discord for that, but that will allow you to pick up all the loot so that you can pull in around 3.5 mil per run. 2 runs a day in a 24-hour period. And just like Solo Bear Island, this island does not have a teleporter to bring you back to the heli ramp when you're finished. So once again, make sure you skirt on the very outside against one of the walls and take yourself to the helipad to fly off. And that's about all I got for you. I think that covers all the P's and Q's, crosses the T's and dots the I's. It's up to you to get in there and give it your best shot. Play smart. I'm going to let Smokes Run entertain you all from here to the end of the video. If you don't mind liking, sharing, and subscribing, leave a comment. I'd love to have the help and support. And yeah, you guys know the deal. Safe travels. P.S. Our awesome admin Rick is working on the dog cave. That's coming soon, so make sure you do subscribe so you can catch that video when it drops. Later!